Arne Slot will inherit a number of players who are ready to go up another level at Liverpool. Nowhere is that more true than in the centre of the pitch. When Arne Slot arrives at Liverpool, he will have a squad at his disposal that is individually and collectively ready to be taken to the next level. Jurgen Klopp leaves not because this is the end of a cycle that needs to be overhauled, but because he is in need of a break. All across the pitch, there are players who are ready to kick on and find another gear. In the defense, it will be exciting to see what Jarell Quansah does next. While the forwards got into the positions without finding the finishes at times last season, there is more potential to be unlocked there. Even Alisson Becker will hope to kick on in the sense that he will want to avoid missing so much football through injury. It is in the Liverpool midfield, though, where there is even more potential than anywhere else. Waiting to be further tapped into are numerous players who have so far only shown glimpses of their true selves. Harvey Elliott is perhaps the obvious name who wouldn't have wanted the season to stop when it did. Finally given a run of starts after Klopp admitted one of his regrets was not starting him more often, the number 19 excelled. Elliott appeared in 34 league matches last season but only 11 of those came from the off. That number is almost certain to increase next year. Injury permitting, Dominic Szoboszlai, signed for a fee of $76 million, £60m/Euro 70m, from RB Leipzig last summer, is another for whom the season was essentially chopped into chunks. He was sensational, then he was injured, and then he struggled to recapture that form. Now used to the physicality required in every game, though, the Hungarian needs to show that he can become more consistent, and he certainly has the talent to kick on. Curtis Jones was more consistent in terms of his performances but also spent time on the sidelines and ended the season out of favour. At his best, though, he is in Liverpool's best midfield and that was reflected in his first call-up for senior England duty. Jones has the left-sided number 8 role nailed down at his peak levels, but he needs to find a way of that being for a full season. Trying to stop him from doing that will be $45 million, £35m/Euro 40m, Ryan Gravenberch, of whom Liverpool has only seen a glimmer of what he can offer. The Dutchman produced as many anonymous showings as positive ones in his first campaign at Anfield, but there is a reason that he has played for Ajax, Bayern Munich and now the Reds. He arrived as a player who needed molding, and it is easy to forget that he is still only 22, but it would not take too much development for Gravenberch to go up another level. Even Alexis Mac Allister, who was in the conversation for being Liverpool's player of the season last year after arriving from Brighton for $45 million, £35m/Euro 40m, tailed off near the end of the campaign. He had spells where he looked exhausted, but with a squad better able to stay fit around him and share the physical burden, the Argentine could potentially find another level. What all of those players have in common is that they are more attack-minded than the old guard, the likes of Gini Wijnaldum and Jordan Henderson. With that, Slot will need to find a way of ensuring there is enough defensive balance, but he should equally be able to look forward to even more goals coming from that department next year when at least one or two of those players step up again. Liverpool wanted more goals from the centre of the pitch when its midfield began to evolve, and when one or two of the group begin to further fulfill their potential, that is exactly what should happen. In doing so, that will alleviate the pressure on the likes of Darwin, Nunez and Luis Diaz in the attack. And that is before looking at young talents looking to further make their mark, chiefly among whom is Bobby Clark. He would already be a bigger name at Anfield had he not been injured at unfortunate times last season, at the start and the end of the campaign when he would have minutes, but he started in the league away at Nottingham Forest and didn't look out of place. Clearly too good for U21's football, Clark could become a rotation option in the centre of the field and add to the number of bodies that Slot can regularly call upon. He isn't the only one looking for minutes, though, with the midfield that Slot will soon have to work with representing the biggest area for improvement again next season. If it can, the goal burden will be spread even further.